Hundreds of servicemen and officials gathered earlier this year at the National Cemetery of the Pacific to celebrate Anzac Day.
Anzac Day is kind of unique in that for us it commemorates the first day that Australian and New Zealanders went into battle as a nation, unlike the 4th of July. And it's not so much about celebrating war, it's about recognising human sacrifice.
Those lives that were lost on those battlefields that gave us our freedom and our where we are today and who we are today.
The acronym ANZAC stands for the Australian and New Zealand Army Corps, whose soldiers were known as Anzacs. Anzac Day is a national day of remembrance in Australia and New Zealand to honor the servicemen who fought in Gallipoli, Turkey during World War I. Over the years, Anzac Day has also become a day to reflect on all those who have served and died in military operations for their countries.
For Australia, this year was marked by the story of one of our soldiers, SAS Corporal Ben Robert Smith. He won our highest military award, the Victoria Cross, for extraordinary courage during an intense battle last year with the Taliban. In that battle, he drew fire towards himself before single-handedly storming and overcoming an enemy machine gun position. At the medal ceremony, his wife was apparently quoted as saying she was glad that she didn't usually know what he was doing in Afghanistan. It was only the second Victoria Cross awarded to an Australian since the Vietnam War. It attracted a lot of attention because it again reminded our community that the qualities of selflessness and courage that we admire and commemorate on Anzac Day are still very much present in the Defence Force of today, and that they also represent the best values to which the rest of us aspire.
It is now 96 years since the story of Anzac Day began on the beaches, gullies and steep hills of Gallipoli. It is a story that has left us some magnificent legacies. A sense of national identity and pride as our brave young soldiers fought together in defence of freedom in a land far from home. A profound and lasting friendship between New Zealand and Australia, two countries who continue to stand side by side today, militarily, economically, culturally.
Anzac Day remains a rare instance in which two countries share the same Remembrance Day, honoring both the Australian and New Zealand soldiers who joined forces in 1915. They formed part of an Allied expedition to capture the Gallipoli Peninsula in Italy, but were met by fierce opposition.
Pause for a moment and try to put yourself in the boots of those young men coming ashore in the grey dawn, forging ahead amongst the bullets and bombs, scrambling across the stony narrow beach beneath the steep scrubby hills, your heart pounding, your legs forcing you on, not knowing what the day will bring, not knowing if it will be your last. These were not professional soldiers from a military class. They were mostly volunteers. They were shopkeepers, farmers, printers, clerks, labourers. Many were teenagers. They came with a sense of duty, a desire for adventure, and a commitment to write a new page in the history of the British Empire. But the day did not turn out as expected.
During the battle, which went on for months, about 11,000 Australians and New Zealanders lost their lives. Even though the campaign failed, the bravery of the troops has left a lasting legacy.
Anzac Day is a time to remember and to reflect, and yes, to celebrate. Not to celebrate war. Those who have taken part, as many of you here have today, do not celebrate war. No, today we celebrate more fundamental values: courage, comradeship, responsibility to others, a dogged determination to do the best we can, including and maybe especially in the face of adversity.
To mark Anzac Day, Several dignitaries, including Mayor Peter Carlisle and members of the community, presented wreaths at the ceremony.
May the selfless courage reflected in the deeds remembered here deeply inspire us. Let the cost of freedom, so powerfully paid through generations of combat, remind us of the significance of the values and truths that we stand for.
Nā mate, nā aitua, haere, haere, haere. To the dead and those we mourn today, farewell their spirits, farewell,